Hey, this is Tyler and Crystal with TJack Survival. We are here in Provo at Discount Guns, and we are going to do a short video on gun malfunctions. All right, so stay tuned.
All right, we're talking about malfunctions, but first off, we're talking about safety. We're using a firearm that's already been cleared by both me and Tyler, and we're using snap caps today to show you how to clear a malfunction.
Snap caps are fake bullets, essentially. Okay, so I've got my empty pistol here because safety is paramount. Even though it's empty, all guns are always loaded, so I'm not going to point it at me or her or anything I'm not willing to destroy.
There are three types of malfunctions. The first malfunction is an empty chamber or a dud round or piece of ammunition.
To simulate that, I have no rounds in here. I have a snap cap on the inside, and my magazine is seated.
And the easiest and quickest way to fix a type 1 malfunction is if you get a dead trigger pull, but it sounds exactly like it should. It doesn't have a funky sound and it doesn't have a weird trigger pull. You know that you have a type 1 malfunction, and what you do is you tap the magazine and you rack the slide, and that should take the round from the top of the magazine, get whatever else is out of the chamber out, and give you a brand new round and get you back in the fight. Now, the reason why you tap the magazine is in case you didn't seat that magazine properly when you put it in there, and then you racked the chamber, or you whacked around into the chamber, it didn't take that round off the top of the magazine, okay?
So I'm up, I click no bang.
Click no bang.
Tap, rack. And now you can see that there is a round in there, and it was seated correctly, ready to fire.
The type 2 malfunction is a failure to feed, and Tyler's going to show you how to set that up. And it looks just like this, all right?
So basically what happened is, a lot of times when this happens, you have a bad magazine. The magazine lips aren't gripping the round correctly, and it either feeds too high, or you weren't hardcore enough in racking it. You did it too slow, which is what I did to induce this. And when that happens, it flips up faster than the spring tension. That's why when you rack this, you let that sucker go. You don't feed it.
Right. Okay. The other thing that you can see in a type 2 malfunction is sometimes you'll get an empty piece of brass that doesn't get all the way out. It's called a stovepipe. Tyler can show that as well. And that's also a type 2 malfunction, usually caused by letting that wrist go up and up.
Don't limp wrist it.
Don't limp wrist it.
Okay.
All right. To fix a type 2 malfunction, you're going to press that trigger, and you're going to get a clunky sound. It doesn't sound right. You get a funky trigger press and sound, and then you know it's either a type 2 or a type 3 malfunction. So on this one, you got to look to see what you have. If brass is high, so it's sticking up, or you can see brass high, you know you have a type 2 malfunction, and you're going to fix it like a type 1 malfunction. You're going to tap, rack, clear that gun out, and back on target.
Eat it, go in your home.
All right, so the next type of malfunction is type 3 malfunction, which is a double feed, which basically means you have one round in the chamber, and then you've racked another round up behind the first round, and they're all jammed up in there. And so Tyler's going to put his gun on target. He's going to press the trigger, and he's going to get that funky trigger pull again. It doesn't sound right. And he's going to know it's a type 2 or type 3 malfunction. He's going to look inside the chamber. Brass low means it's a type 3 malfunction. He's going to strip his magazine. He does that because sometimes if you press that magazine button, it won't just pop out because it's all jammed up in there. So sometimes you actually have to rip it out. Then he's going to...
If you don't get it with your hand, you can also, if you have another magazine, scrape it off with your magazine.
Absolutely. Then he's going to rack to get all of the rounds out of there as it hits me in the face. That's awesome too. And he wants all of those rounds out of there, and then he's going to reload. He's going to take a magazine from his belt, put it in there, rack around in, and then he's ready to get back in the fight. All right, so we're talking about malfunctions, a type 1 malfunction. I've already set my firearm up. I'm going to come in here on target. I'm going to shoot, and I'm going to get that normal trigger press like we talked about. My finger comes off the trigger to maintain safety. I know it's a type 1 malfunction because of that trigger press. I'm going to bring my firearm in, but up in front of my face so I can still see the target beyond me. I'm going to tap that magazine into place. I'm going to bring my hand back over the top of my slide here, and I'm going to rack. And I'm going to do this by pushing my right hand forward, pulling my left hand back, just like that, and then back up onto target. And that's type 1 malfunction clearance. Type 2 malfunction, as you can see, I've set my firearm up here with that stovepipe, that empty piece of brass that didn't get out of the chamber. It's a failure to eject. All right, and so I'm gonna come up here on target. I'm gonna press that trigger, and it's gonna be a funky trigger press. It's not gonna sound normal. So then I take my finger off the trigger. Okay, I'm gonna have to look to see what type of malfunction is. I see brass high sticking out of the chamber. I know it's a type 2 malfunction. And I'm again going to tap, rack, bring my firearm back up on target, and back in the game.
All right, so I've induced, to the best of my ability, a double feed. Okay, either they can stack on top of each other, or in this case, there's one in the front chased by another one in the back. So what's going to happen is I'm going to come up on target. I'm in the middle of the gunfight, and this induces itself. So in order to practice, I'm on target, I squeeze, clunky, nothing happens. Take my finger off the trigger. Now my mechanism for racking is a little bit different, which is totally fine. I'm going to push the button, it doesn't come out. So I pull back, I strip it, right? And it just closed on that round, but I don't know if that was an empty round or a loaded round. So I'm going to come back, 1, 2, 3, lock, look, seat, rack, which is my tap rack, and then come back on target. Oh, I don't have any rounds in that. All right.
The first lesson to gun
Exactly.
fighting, always have rounds in your magazine.
Always have extra rounds in your magazines. So that has been the 3 major types of weapons malfunctions and how to clear them.
If this video has been valuable to you, please subscribe, comment below, or like us. Thanks for watching. This is TJack Survival.